What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode now of the My Player Career Mode. So yesterday, guys, you got an upload of this. Today, hopefully, you're getting an upload of this if it does come out on the Friday, and I'm thinking it will come out on the Friday. It might be just a little bit delayed after 6 p.m. rather than being bang on as per usual, but as you saw yesterday, we got ourselves through to the semi-finals of the Confed Cup, in which we are taking on Spain for the first game. Unfortunately, not picked for this one, though. The boys did do the job in the end after Ward-Prowse scored the only goal of the game via a penalty kick. So he did get through to the final, and coincidentally, we're actually taking on France in that final. So yeah, the team we've already beaten once in the group stage, the team that we played firstly in this entire international competition. We're taking them on in the final. You remember we beat them 1-0 in that game as well, so in all honesty, guys, we've beaten them once. There's no reason why we can't beat them again here. We are taking them on, actually, though, at the Parc des Princes. So it's actually in France, this one. So in many ways, they kind of have the home advantage for this. But as you can tell as well, it is actually post-com once again. A little bit of info for you guys in case you didn't watch the earlier video of today. I have actually ordered a new computer, so that should be coming in, well, coming in the next week or so. Meaning we'll be able to go back to normal, having Football Manager back on the channel, having Facecam back on the channel. Right now, as I've said before, the temporary setup I'm on with the laptop just cannot handle that sort of stuff. So unfortunately, guys, it's had to be postponed, if you will. So that will be coming back when I get my new computer set up and all ready to go. So yeah, that's coming in like the week or in a week or so. So I'm hoping it's all going to be okay and stuff and we can go back to normal as we were. But regardless, guys, this final of the Confed Cup is going to be very interesting. As I said, already beaten them once here, this friend's team. But the thing is, you got to look at their team and say that they do have an absolute beast team everywhere. The defense is solid. They've got, obviously, Laporte and Varane at two centre-backs. Very, very difficult to try and break down. Ousmane Dembele, who at this point will be an absolute beast, because you've got to remember we're like 4 or 5 years in now. So he's basically getting to his potential. And then you've got the other players around him, you know, the likes of Griezmann, Lacazette, Pogba, you know, all these big names, and Martial as well, of course. So all these players, guys, France certainly do have a very, very tough team, but it was actually us with the first chance of this game here, 6 minutes in, really nicely worked as well into Sterling, who actually brings it down somehow and takes a strike on, and without Lloris making a smart save at his near post, it would have been 1-0 to us, but unfortunately, as I say, it was a really, really good stop from the keeper. Into the second half we went now as France would get themselves their first chance. Martial with it, fantastic strike. Equally met, though, by a brilliant save once again from another goalkeeper, this time in Butland. And then the follow-up strike was actually ended up being blocked there for France. So we went into the 90th minute here. It looks as if we were going off square into extra time until we had one more chance before the end of the full 90 minutes. And it actually was us with it as well. Tried to find the bottom corner there with a fantastic effort, but sadly, it went just wide of that bottom corner. Imagine if we'd scored in the 90th minute to win this Confed Cup. That would have been absolutely ridiculous. The scenes would have been crazy. But we went into the second half, guys, or rather well, I say the second half, I meant the extra time, and France actually had a really good opportunity there to take the lead, but at this point, both managers had set themselves to all-out attack. We'd gone to all-out attack, and so did France, so it was whoever could get the first goal would go on to win this, because of course you could set yourself back to normal and balanced, and it was actually us who found it. I have no idea why Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain decided to pass that ball back to me, and how the rest of our players got there so quickly. You can see them behind the goal. Yeah, it's like they teleported or something, but seriously, I don't know why Chamberlain gave me the ball back here. We caught him on the break, 3-on-1, and for some reason, he decided to give me the ball back when he was clean through himself. This is what I'm talking about. I've spoken about it previously in this series. Decision-making on the My Players career mode of the AI really does need improving. This is on Legendary, guys, so it's not like it's the easiest difficulty in the world. These are supposed to be smart players. So why on earth, when they're through one-on-one with the goalkeeper, are they choosing to try and feed the ball across in a worse angle and a worse opportunity than they would have had if they'd just ran on and tried to go one-on-one? It baffles me, but I tell you what, we managed to finish the chance off, and it was an absolutely expertly taken as well. So we take the lead in this one here, and it wasn't before long before we were 2-0 up as well. This one is my favourite of the two. You take a look at it again, and you just see the little turn I did on the edge of the area just to knock it past the centre-back, and then right-footed into the bottom corner. Of course, being a left-footed striker, it's always nice to score with your weak foot, but then you got to take a look, as I say, at the little turn that I did on the edge of the area to even get the chance in the first place here. So, fantastic play across the board, as we did take a 2-goal advantage on the stroke of the half-time in extra time here. And honestly, guys, you know, you're taking nothing away from France. They had a pretty decent game themselves. But it all came down to who could get that first goal. And if they'd have got it, I think we would have lost this. If we'd have got it, of course we did get it. And it seems as though we are going to go on to win this one here. So it was at that point where I kind of looked at it and I thought, we're both on all-out attack at this point. Whoever gets his first goal, ultimately, in my eyes, would go on to win the game. We found the first goal. We went on to win it. But if France had have found it, and they did have their opportunities, don't like that. And don't let that kind of, I guess, escape you. You know, the first half opportunity well, I said not the first half, the second half, sorry, 72 minutes in, when they had that opportunity where we made a fantastic block on the follow-up shot, if that had gone in, I think we'd have lost that game, guys. So the fact that we managed to hold out, make sure we didn't concede, and then go on to win it through extra time is fantastic. But again, I have to say, my performances at England level are so much better, and just in general, playing with England, it feels a lot better than it does currently playing with my Manchester City team. So, as I've said before, I'm going to try and act upon all of your guys' comments in the previous episode telling me to leave Manchester City, telling me to hand in a transfer request and try to go to the likes of Juventus, Real Madrid, Barcelona, you know, all these big name clubs around the world who in some ways, I guess, are not guaranteed to win the Champions League, but have certainly got a better opportunity to do it than the other teams that we've got in England, you know, the likes of City. So I am going to try and put myself on the transfer list. Whether or not it will get accepted, you will have to wait and see. I do actually do it in this episode, so you have to wait and see if it does, in fact, get accepted in this episode. There's 2 more games to come, guys, but I've got a pre-warning for you. They are so boring, and it really did make my decision in the end. You'll see it coming up, guys. I handed in my transfer request, and then I played 2 games, right? And I'm so glad I handed in the transfer request, and I can confirm you right now, it actually gets accepted. And the reason I was so happy about that was because I looked at the squad report here. If you want to check out any players, pause it on whichever one you want to do. But I looked at it, and I thought, this Man City team, for me, isn't good enough. Like, I don't feel confident in the team. The midfielders are getting really, really old now. The likes of Fernando's being chosen ahead of Gundogan, and the likes of Pjanic. So for me personally, Pep Guardiola's choices and the team in general just was not good enough. So that was already making up my mind on the transfer request. And then to add to it, the 2 games you're about to see, that made me even more wanting a transfer request. So, or rather wanting a transfer list. I don't know what I'm trying to say. English is not, basically, it's not there at the moment. But I handed in a transfer request. It gets accepted. And so it really did kind of set in motion these 2 games. You'll see what I'm talking about when we go into them. The first of which, we're at the Etihad taking on Arsenal. I can understand, kind of a draw here, but you'll see it. There's literally 1 shot in the entire game, and it comes from Arsenal. And the thing is, we got dominated. We had 39% of the ball. We just didn't play well. Our midfield got absolutely overrun. We were absolutely demolished everywhere, pretty much, apart from up front. And that's only because I never got any service. Literally, the front 3 of us just didn't get any service. And the problem here is, as I said to you, the midfield's getting old now. They've got Gundogan and they've got Pjanic, sat not even in the starting 11 on the bench. The only person who actually played in there, who I would have put in there, was Fabinho, and that's because he's 87 rated. So the fact they keep Fernandinho in there, and then I think there's another guy in there as well who's only like 76 rated, really did tilt me. I looked at the midfield, and honestly, I didn't see how we were going to win this game. And 38 minutes in, the first chance and the only chance came here. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain with it, straight into the hands of Joe Hart. That was it. Only chance of the game. You'll see in a second, I'll show you the match facts, just to prove that there was 1 shot coming in from Arsenal. That was it. That's exactly what I mean, guys. The midfield got dominated. We had nothing. And this is why I then was so happy that my transfer request got accepted. Because I thought, you know what? I've been denied transfer requests in the past. I had to hand it in twice before it did get accepted. But that really showed me that I possibly do need to be moving clubs, you know. I need service. I can't be running back and trying to get the goals myself and just trying to do everything myself. I need to get some service through. So it seems only right for me to try and move to Barcelona, Juventus, Real Madrid. You know, these teams that have got quality midfielders, can control a game, can have a lot of the ball. That's what I need to be playing in. And if I want to win the Champions League, which is what I want to do before we end the series off, I need to be at a team like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, PSG, all these teams that have a really good opportunity. You could have said that I honestly should have been able to do it at Bayern Munich. But the thing with that was, I missed quite a lot of time towards the back end of the season. I won the, what was it? Did we win the Cup and the Bundesliga? I think it was in the end. But unfortunately, wasn't around to play either of those due to the injury. And I just didn't feel as though my time at Bayern, I just didn't feel basically like at home, if you will. So I felt pretty good at Valencia and in the Spanish league. So any teams that come through for me, I would like it to be a Spanish league club. If I could get that, that would be absolutely exceptional. So we had a lot of good time in Spain at Valencia. So if it could be Barcelona or Real Madrid, that would be even better. You can kind of call me a traitor in that sense if I move back to the Spanish league and are playing for Real Madrid or Barcelona instead of Valencia, having a really good season there, winning the Cup and the Liga. So we've already won those trophies before, but it's not about that. The only cup I want to win now is the Champions League. And as you can see again, game against Rangers in the Champions Cup, which was a qualification to try and get ourselves into the next round of the group stage of the Champions League. Again, 0-0 with us getting dominated in the midfield and them having the 1 shot of the game. So I rest my case, guys. Pretty much we need to be moving out of Manchester City. So hopefully next episode, transfer request comes into play and we will be able to get ourselves a move to a different club. If you've enjoyed this one though, guys, I'd appreciate a like rating. As always, thank you for your continued support on the channel. You guys are all amazing. And I'll catch you all later with, well, tomorrow with 2 more videos. Stay tuned and don't want to miss them. Adios.